Am I the butthole for not inviting my future sister-in-law to my wedding? Last December, my future sister-in-law, 36 years old female, got upset with me, 26 years old female, because my favorite football team beat hers. I had been dating my fiancé, then boyfriend, for 8 months at this point and had not yet met this sister. I said roll tide to the group message consisting of my boyfriend's siblings, and in turn got berated. My future sister-in-law said things like she gonna hate me, but we can't have any of those rural persons in our fam, is it Adam's or Isaiah's, talking about whose girlfriend I was. Thankfully it's Isaiah's, and he changes them like underwear. Moving on from that conversation, she has never looked me in the face or acknowledged anything I have said when we have been at the same place at the same time. If I say something, she directs her response to someone else and she's never corrected. I have never received an apology. I am now getting married in a little over a month, and my fiancé is worried we will be the family bad guys for not inviting her. I do not want to send her an invite. So, am I the butthole for setting boundaries and not sending a wedding invitation to my sister-in-law? Am I the butthole for not paying for wife's checked bag after she voluntarily gave her carry-ons away? Wife voluntarily gives away carry-ons that I buy her. Her friends/family will ask to borrow it, never return it, and she says it's rude to ask for it back. We've lost 3 carry-ons this way. So now that we have an upcoming trip, I booked our flights with just carry-ons. Told wife she can pay for her own checked bag if she wants. Am I the butthole? Am I the butthole for not letting go during an argument? I'm female, 23, and my sister, 26, just got into an argument. It wasn't really an argument to me. As to me, I thought I was just stating fact. I am autistic and was thoroughly confused most of the phone call as to why she was getting angry. We were on a phone call, and she starts complaining about how her friends and our mom are worried about her going to a Hosier concert in a big city by herself. I agreed with their concern, stating the fact that it is dangerous. However, I did not try to convince her to bring someone else or not to go. This is because I fully would go to a concert in a big city alone too. She then starts raising her voice at me, saying that she can get shot up anywhere, at grocery store, and the school she teaches at, which I agree. But I state, going to a concert in a big city for a big artist is slightly more dangerous. You're alone, with strangers, anything can happen. She begins to start name-calling, calling me our dad, who takes no one's opinions and doesn't listen to anyone. I keep on my stance that in this context, her going to the concert alone is dangerous. She then starts calling me a bitch, screaming through the phone to the point it's static, and hanging up on me. My question is, am I the butthole for not just letting it go and agreeing that concerts aren't that dangerous? She truly believes that grocery stores and anywhere else is just as dangerous as a concert in a big city. Edit. The city is Houston, and she lives 45 to 60 minutes away from the venue. AITA for being fatphobic to my best friend? Old story from last year, but I'll post anyway because it's still on my mind. We were both in theater class, working on a character design assignment. It was me, 16F at the time, my bestie, 17F at the time, and friend 2, 17M at the time. The assignment was to take a classic story and change the time period and further design clothes for that time period. Then make a PowerPoint and art to go with. My group nicked Hansel and Gretel, and we placed the characters in ancient Greece. The characters being Hansel, Gretel, and the witch. My 2 friends make the PowerPoint, and my assignment was to literally draw everything since I'm the artist of the friend group. We all get on Google together and decide on clothes, hair, jewelry, accessories, and everything else. I take my half of the assignment home to finish for the deadline tomorrow and continue to spend the next 10 hours of my day doing it. No joke. I counted the hours it took for the concept sketch, rough sketch, line art, coloring, and shading. Cut to theater class the next day, and my friends hate it. They complain that Hansel and Gretel didn't have dark enough skin, that the witch looks too old and decrepit, that the eyes are wonky, that the feet look weird. After all is said and done, me and my friends are talking about who would play what character if we were to do a dress rehearsal with my designs. My bestie insists that she be the witch, since she thinks the design is cool. I respond and tell her that I think she'd better suit Gretel. Since the design of Gretel we decided on had blonde hair, blue eyes, and fair skin. 2. Because I specifically designed the witch in my own likeness, a tall, skinny, gangly woman with thin features. I've struggled with weight all my life and it made me feel good to make a character who looks like me. She then says, "Wow, Lynn, that's so fatphobic." The fudge? Because I made a character who looks like me as the artist? Also, I have photos of the art if any of you would like to see. Am I the butthole for wanting to quit my job? I, 18M, recently got a job thanks to my dad, 46. This is my first ever job. It's a 9:30-6 shift. I get 40 hours a week regularly. I have no other way to describe it. Besides, I literally cannot do this job. It's a labor job. I come home sore and tired, which I know is normal, but I can't handle it. I talk to people, but it's just pleasantries. It's nothing crazy. I knew going into the job I wouldn't like it, but I did anyways. My father asked me to try for 2 weeks. I'm on my 4th, and I just can't do it anymore. The job pays well, but it numbs me so much. I feel dull and like nothing. My father vouched for me and is now pissed that I want to quit, saying it makes him look bad. I don't know what to do since I really don't think I can keep doing 40-hour work weeks consistently yet. Everyone at work says I'll get used to it, but I just feel worse every day. Today was the worst. I went in, cried, tried working, asked to go home early than my dad, and I had a very meager argument at work. Then I went home. I need this job to pay for college, but I think at this point I'd rather go for a lesser paying job with the lower pay to keep myself happy. Am I the butthole for wanting to quit my job? Am I the butthole for the way I react to things? Hello. It is one of my F14's first times porting here on Reddit. I come on here to get opinions on me, in general. Am I in butthole for the way I react to certain things? I know there's people on here that deserve advice more than I do. And to those people I can only wish the best. And I know my post is as insignificant as it gets on here, but oh well. So, not that it matters, but I do have severe attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Please note that if anything I mention here concerns you, let me know. Now, I'll give a few examples of situations and my reaction to them. From there, you can determine whether I am in butthole or not. Example 1. When a friend cries. Now, I'm usually the crybaby friend, but if one of my friends is crying, I'll try to go in with a hug and try to give reassurances. Maybe throw in a joke here and there, but I don't like seeing my friends cry. I'm not that good at comforting in the first place, but I try. Example 2. Loud noises. They really stress me out. Same thing with too much stuff going on at once. Am I the butthole? I, M22, didn't communicate what I wanted to do with my GF, F26, while having an anxiety attack. I have been stressed for a while about rent. I've been the one paying the majority of rent, 90%, since we moved in here, and I didn't think it was a problem. Because of this, for the past 5 months, I've been incredibly financially insecure. I consistently have bare made it by each month. The only reason we are still in our apartment is because our landlord is my dad, and he is letting us stay rent-free for a few months, but we'll have to pay him back as soon as possible. I've been freaking out because having next to zero in my account at the end of the month is very scary. Today I lost it. I very rarely get angry when I'm stressed. I was mad at everyone and everything. Recognizing this, I told my girlfriend I love her and I would see her in a few hours. Brought a little money to the bank, did some chores. No problem, when I get home, I'm still freaking out. I go to the garage. It's separated from the main building, so it's quiet. I pull apart a broken TV with a screwdriver. Eventually, I come back in and my girlfriend asks if I want to hang out today, and I'm barely processing how mad I am, and I say, maybe, I don't know, and then eat something and go back outside to chop up some logs to get my anger out. I do more chores and hit my dad's punching bag. The entire day, I was barely verbal and avoided people, trying to get my anger out in private. I'm barely able to process anything, trying to figure out how and why I'm feeling this way, and just generally process the emotions. Later, my girlfriend comes to me and asks if I'm avoiding her. I tell her no, and we have a brief calm argument about how I told her I don't know when she asked if I wanted to hang out, and she was left in limbo. It stressed her out, thinking I was angry with her. I apologized for stressing her out. I told her, It shouldn't have happened. I can understand why that would stress you out, and I'm sorry that what I did stressed you out. The next part is the sticking point. I then said, I will try my best to communicate in the future, but I'm really not sure I will be able to. I definitely wasn't able to today. Her response was essentially, if you realize you're overwhelmed or too stressed out, just tell me. I haven't budged, and I obviously think there's nothing objectionable in my response, but I need an unbiased POV. Am I the butthole for squeezing my sister's cheeks when they were full of water at a restaurant? My parents, sister, F18, and me, M17, went to a restaurant last night. My sister has this habit where if she drinks water or some drink, she just stores it in her mouth for a bit and kind of looks like a chipmunk while staring into the distance. In the past, like when I was young, say when I was 11 or 12, I sometimes squeezed her cheeks and the drink in her mouth would be spat out, and it was always pretty funny to me, but I stopped eventually because my sister and parents always got really mad at me. Last night she did her habit again, and while I had not done it in years, I had an urge to do it. Let's say that my parents and sister did not like it, as when I squeezed her cheeks she spat out the water at my dad who was sitting in front of her. Everyone got upset at me, and we left the restaurant early since my dad was soaking wet. Later at home, my family was really upset at me and told me to grow up and that I humiliated the family in public, and they have kind of been cold to me since. Am I the butthole? It was a simple joke.